Massive layoffs.
Slew of layoffs.
Companies announced the most job cuts.
Decline of 9,000 for payroll.
Tens of thousands of people that are being laid off. Layoffs.
Layoffs.
Job cuts.
Job losses.
You clicked on this video because you're at a crossroad, making enough money to support a living, but you feel like you're working your life away. And the worst part, you have a little money to start a business to break out of that, but you have no idea where to start. When you look up online, the best remote income to start building on the side, you are shown a million different ways, but you don't know if any of them work. In 2022, I was staring down the rest of my life, a stable office job that would pay the bills, but not freedom. You see, your inspiration might not be to make a 7-figure business, but mine wasn't either. This online business can create a remote income from just your laptop, regardless of where you are in the world. And it doesn't require for you to have some fancy skills. It is truly the single greatest opportunity for people who are spending 40 hours a week at a corporate job to build something that they finally love. So I'm going to be breaking down this video into 2 parts. First, how the entire process works from start to finish. And secondly, an example of everyday people like you and I doing it successfully right now as we speak. So grab a notebook, because this is the start of what I like to call a freedom income. All right, let's talk about it. But first, what is this business model and how does it actually work? And the business model is selling on Amazon. And I have a question mark here because you might be thinking, what? Selling on Amazon? How does that work? I thought Amazon only sells these products, 1-day shipping, who touches the packages? There's a ton of questions there. But listen to this. Over 60% of Amazon sales are done by third-party sellers, independent sellers like you and I, regular people. This platform does over $1 trillion every single year in sales, and there's entrepreneurs and startups, people like you and I who don't have any business acumen, who are taking advantage of Amazon's opportunity that they're presenting to never touch a product, but use their marketplace essentially as an avenue of sales, okay? And I'll do you even one better with that. Check this out. 350,000 Amazon sellers sold over $100,000 last year. That's 6 figures. 350,000 people are doing 6 figures in revenue, not profit, every single year with Amazon. And many of you might be thinking, how does that actually work? When I get a package, it has Prime label on it, it has Amazon label on it, it doesn't have my name on it or any other random person on it. Amazon has created this marketplace, this unbelievable system to have people like us, any regular person on the street, start a business around their business model and resell name branded products that everybody already loves. You don't have to do any marketing for, and take advantage of what they have created, okay? But now, let's talk about how this actually works, because these questions are very common. You might be asking them yourself right now. So how does it work? Do I need lots of money? I don't know how to market. I don't have a lot of time. Each and every one of these concerns are all going to be washed away. To start Amazon and start selling on Amazon, you don't need to have a certain number of money in your bank account. You don't need to invest $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And you especially don't need to invest that into advertising or marketing. When you're selling on Amazon, you're selling name branded products that people already love. CeraVe, La Roche-Posay, common pet food, common, anything that everybody loves that you probably even buy and use for your household right now. These companies spend billions in dollars of marketing every single year, let alone Amazon that spends billions of dollars to attract customers to the platform to buy the products. And we're just taking advantage of the pricing difference by working with a supplier and selling it for a higher cost. And I'll explain that in a sec. Now, here comes the last one, which is a key one for me. I don't have a lot of time. So take this into account. I've been traveling for 3 years while doing Amazon FBA full time. I've grown the business to $2 million in sales, which is 7 figures in a little time as 3 years. Now, I don't have time every single day to work on this business day in and day out, grow it, and spend all my time, right? When I'm traveling, I'm spending days in Rome, I'm spending days in other countries in Europe and Africa and Thailand. I'm exploring, I'm meeting people, because that's what it's all about. And this business is the best system to actually delegate things, where you can hire team members, you can systemize all of the processes. All of the work and the heavy lifting is done by Amazon. As soon as you open up your laptop, you're able to make productive work once you learn how the process actually works, to make process without actually having to work day in and day out and stressing yourself out, okay? So now that we have that kind of settled, let's talk about how this actually works, the entire process, the entire business model of what this even looks like. So when you're selling on Amazon, this is what the workflow or the logistical flow looks like. It first starts with a supplier, right? Because these suppliers own the product, right? And we're looking to work with them, whether it's a retailer or whether it's a distributor. They could be the biggest distributor in the world that supplies Walmart and Amazon, or they could be the smallest retailer in the world that only tailors towards, mom and pop shops or like regular people who come in to shop for an item or two. Now, we buy these products from a supplier for $20, and now we're looking to sell them on Amazon for $40. Amazon has two base fees. They have a fulfillment fee, which is to pick, pack, and ship the inventory. And then they have a referral fee, which is basically like their cut of the bargain for doing all of the work, okay? And the fees are very, very minimal on the grand scheme of things. And the questions you might be having in your head is, what about storage fees, shipping fees, inbound fees? That is all baked into a calculator on Amazon's process, okay? So if you're buying for 20 and you're selling for 40, you're looking to make $6 or $7 per unit. Now you might be saying, well, that's not a lot of money. I had to sell a lot of units to be able to make up my current salary or make up a really good income. But think about this. As you build out a catalog across 5 or 10 or 15 products, and each of them are making $5 or $6 per unit, and you're selling thousands every single month, you're continuously growing a $5, $10, $15, $20,000 profit business week over week, month over week. And as you have more money in the business, you're able to invest more, and that's how things continue to grow, okay? But first, when you buy from a supplier, how does this fulfillment process actually work, right? Because we can't touch the product if we're looking to build a remote income. Maybe some of us have apartments in a city. Maybe some of us have house where we don't have room to have all this garage and all this space and whatnot. Or some of us want to just travel the world like I've been doing. So what you do here is you ship the inventory directly from a supplier to a prep center. Now, these prep centers are specifically for Amazon, okay? All they do is prepping for Amazon because Amazon has a few specific requirements, right? With how you label the product, with how you package the product, and all the inventory has to be put into one box or on a pallet to be shipped into bulk. And the prep center does all of that for you. And no, they don't charge you a lease fee of $5,000 a month or $2,000 a month where you have to pay rent to have a warehouse. All they charge is a per dollar per unit of product. So it could be 50 cents, a dollar, $1.50. And every item that you ship in, they bill you for, okay, you shipped in 100 items. Their fee is $1 per unit. That's $100. So in hindsight, for them to do all of the work for you in the Amazon space and just charge you $1 per product, if you're making $10 to $15 per product, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't care to have to pay them and to be able to travel and do the business remote without having to do any labor, right? So Amazon requires to have all these labeling, and the prep center does all that for you. Then they ship the inventory in to Amazon's fulfillment center on your behalf. They let Amazon know, hey guys, Jay has 100 units of this CeraVe cream coming into your warehouse, all right? And the Amazon fulfillment center checks it in. They confirm that all of the units there. Then they allow the units to be available for sale on the marketplace under your Amazon selling account, okay? And when you get an order from a customer, right? You get an order, everything is processed. On the back end, Amazon is notified that, okay, Jay LaRosa's selling account has just received an order. So what they do is they pack the inventory into one of their Amazon Prime boxes. They put it on the truck. They pay you out into your seller balance, which then goes into your bank account every 2 weeks. And then the product gets delivered to the customer. You are never in the process of customer service or fulfillment. That is all done by this giant of what we call Amazon, right? And they're $1 trillion company for a reason. And as Jeff Bezos has famously said, Amazon isn't just a $1 billion business. It's creating millions of entrepreneurs around the world. And there's currently 9 million Amazon sellers around the world. And don't think like, oh, wow, that's a ton of sellers. Because remember what we said here. There are almost 350,000 Amazon sellers doing 6 figures a year in the business, which is absolutely insane. And there's over 100,000 Amazon sellers doing 7 figures, creating $1 million businesses without touching a product, okay? Now that we have the logistical side of things down and we understand how the shipping process works, how we don't actually touch the product, let's dive into a real life example of how sellers every day right now are doing this process and making money. Let's get into it. All right, here we are on an Amazon listing. Now I'm gonna give you some context of some things that you should be looking out for before we dive into the logistics of it, okay? So here on an Amazon listing, I'm sure you've shopped there as a customer. What you're gonna see here is how many times a month this product sells, which is 100 times, but there's a few ways you can look at it, okay? And I'm gonna dive into them. Now, there's 2 important softwares when it comes to selling on Amazon, how to do this the actual right way to make money. And each of them are $20 a month. It's not going to kill you. They're $20 a month. It is what it is, right? It has to happen. So one of them here is called SellerAmp, and this is going to help you calculate your profit of how much money you make every unit you sell, as well as a forecaster for how much money you could make. And the second one is Keepa. For this to be $20 a month is unbelievable in the Amazon space because it gives you all the data you could possibly know about a single product. And I know you might be thinking like, holy cow, there's a lot of numbers going on. It's very confusing, but don't worry. It's very basic. It's very easy to look at, and I'm going to break it down step by step. So this software Keepa, which is a non-negotiable in the Amazon space, what it tells me is the price that it's selling at, how many sales per month it gets, and who else is my competition. This bottom chart is the other sellers on the listing, okay? And it doesn't only tell me that, it gives me the data since this listing has been born on Amazon. So I can go back over 3,000 days to know what the product was selling at that time, what competitors were there, how much sales volume there was there. It shows you literally everything here step by step. And this helps you make a calculated decision on whether you want to buy the product or run for the hills on a product, okay? And we'll dive into Keepa when it comes to assessing this product. Now, this second software, SellerAmp, is going to tell us how much money we're going to make for every unit that we sell of the product. It calculates all of Amazon's fees automatically in there. This software is integrated with Amazon itself. So all of their fulfillment fee, their referral fee, storage fee, inbound shipping fee, it's all calculated. All you have to do is plug in numbers to see, okay, how much would I make if I bought the product for the XYZ dollars, right? And for example, if I bought the product for $8, I would make $5.44 with a 68% ROI. That's really good business, right? In any business model, regardless of e-commerce and selling on Amazon, okay? So this calculator shows you how much you would make per product, but it also shows you how much you would make if you sold 100 units or 200 units or 300 units. It gives you a little bit of an estimator and a forecast to say, okay, if I bought this product at this price and I sold it month over month at this price, how much money would I make a month? You could say $500 a month, $750 a month. Of course, it comes down to how many units you could sell, but that's why I use both of these softwares in tandem. And they're very easy to read. I've made tons of video on them. Don't worry about them being too complex or very scary. So for this specific example, if we can buy this product for $8 and sell it for $20.88, which is its current selling price, right? Because that's what it's telling us here, that whichever seller is selling this product right now, which is R and C S outlet, just a regular third-party seller like you and I, no one special, doesn't work for Amazon, doesn't work with Amazon. He's selling this product at $20.88, and Amazon has chosen him for his price and his product to be represented to all of the Amazon customers. Now, how do you get in his position? Amazon constantly rotates this buy box, is what it's called, for other sellers to compete with each other. Everybody gets sales. Everybody's happy, okay? So let's say this entire listing, if you bought it for $8 and you sold it for $20.88 and you sold 100 units per month, that would cost you $800. You might be thinking, well, now I'm losing money, right? But no, it makes you back $544 in profit and it results in $2,000 in revenue. That's every month. Now, you're not going to win 100 sales per month for yourself, right? You might be winning 30 sales per month, maybe 50 sales per month if you're staying very, price competitively and in stock. But any given number of what you're making is still profit, right? Having 30 units sell every month is $163 in profit, $600 in sales, costs you $240. Now you have $400 to play with after your profit gets reinvested, okay? Then you do this with 5, 10, 15 listings, and you grow and grow and grow. You're in the playing field. You're in a pretty good space with Amazon, okay? So with that said, let's go dive into an actual supplier where you can buy this product from and plug in these numbers and see how it works out. All right, let's dive into where you actually buy this product now in the supplier. And notice it's not one of those mainstream suppliers like Walmart or Target, even though mainstream suppliers are still good and I still recommend buying from PetSmart, Zoro, CVS, Walgreens, all of the common ones that are easy to buy from. This is a smaller supplier, and this is where the real victories and growth comes in, where you can buy in bulk, build a relationship with them, and buy on a consistent basis with no issues, okay? So here we are with the supplier, and they're advertising the price at $11.40. Now, that's a good price, right? It's still going to get us about 15 to 20% ROI. I'll show you in a sec. But what's really powerful with getting from these smaller suppliers and where you buy these products to sell them on Amazon, you can actually get wholesale bulk discounts from these suppliers by reaching out via email via phone call or via email or chat if you didn't want to talk to anybody, and give them a call, look to buy 50 units, 70 units, or 100 units, then go on Amazon to resell them. So if the buy cost here is $11.40, which I know for sure we can get it cheaper, at that price, you're still making 18% ROI and $2 profit, okay? Doesn't seem like a lot, but typically this product sells at about the $22 range. You can see here back in September for about a month and a half. So I'm confident we can get sales at 22. Let's say we compete a little bit with these sellers, but we can get sales a bit higher. Now that takes us 26% ROI and $3 profit. Still doesn't seem incredibly like a lot, but if you buy and sell 50 units a month, which I'm gonna go down here on the calculator, we're spending $570 every month to get back $151. So then we have $720 to play with. Now, that also brings you $1,000 in sales. So that might seem like, okay, well, that doesn't seem like enough for me to do all this work, right? Which in hindsight, you're not touching the product, you're not doing any prep, you're not working with anything, you're not doing marketing, customer service, you're just buying and selling for a profitable price. And this is a real life example right in front of us. But now, if you get a discount on this product, let's say even 10%, and the product price goes down to $10.20, right? Which is very possible. Now you're at 41% ROI and $4 profit per unit. Now, selling 50 units gets you to $211 profit on this specific product. And that's only if you sell 50 units. If you sell 100, this entire listing does $423 every single month. Now, check this out as well. If you build on your catalog, okay, if you have more products in your catalog, then you have 5 products, 10 products, 15 products that do the same work for you, and all you're doing is buying, shipping to the fulfillment center, hands off, searching for new products to buy, then you're doing $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month without doing any labor, without spending countless hours in prepping or marketing or learning logistics. All you're doing is understanding how the business works, letting Amazon FBA and the prep centers handle all of the other work, okay? And these websites, I have to point out for you guys, are so critical and crucial to work with because they give you so much opportunity and give you a lot of ease. Notice if you buy from bulk from this supplier, you only have to place one order. You don't have to place 10 orders or 30 orders. You place one order, buy it on a Monday, on the first of the month, and restock 3 weeks later and continue to do this with better and better products. Because if you find products that don't sell 100 times a month, but they sell 500, then 1,000, then 2,000, can you see the opportunity building if we were able to sell 300 units per month? All right, not 3,000, 300 units per month, $1,000 in profit from one specific listing. Now, if we were to do 500 units a month, that's $2,000 from one listing. Having 5 to 10 listings takes you to $20K profit a month, over $100K in sales every single month as a 7-figure business now on an annual basis, okay? So there's so much opportunity with doing it, and these suppliers are so critical. So there's a prime example of how it works with buying and selling on Amazon from these suppliers and reselling them. And it doesn't require tons of hours. It requires you to read the data and keep it like we talked about, seeing what sells, finding these products with using this, reverse sourcing profit calculator, use this for sourcing, and then you're buying and selling, making money on a consistent basis and trying to grow the business. So there is the best possible business to start in 2025 and 2026 and beyond, and I will stand by it. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna make one every single day, every other day for the rest of your life, and I'll be here for a while. So thanks for watching.